episode of Financial Freeway. My name is David J. Atwood. I'm the man rocking the Ray-Bans. And it is Monday, and we had the storm to end all storms this weekend. We had what was called a atmospheric river come through Victoria, southwestern British Columbia, and it was a nasty one. It was lots and lots of rain. I saw footage of a car in Vancouver floating down some of the water that was going down the streets. Floating. Actually so deep the car was sunk in the water, but enough it was up that it was floating. I was like, okay, that's crazy. When I was a kid, I remember at least once a year there was a flood in Victoria, a bad flood, where roads would be shut down. It was, but that was the way it was. We just got so much rain. Well, it's not only that we got so much rain, it's also that we didn't really truly get a handle on the type of drainage that we needed here in Victoria. We do need that little extra bit of, there you are, good, okay. We do need that little extra bit of drainage work here in Victoria because of the amount of rain that we get. I would say biannually, because we get a lot of rain in the winter, and then we get a lot of rain in the spring as well. So on this last weekend, it was so bad, and I was lucky. I got a lot of chores that had to be done outside, and the rain really doesn't bother me that much. Like, I'm okay with it. So I don't mind getting wet. I definitely don't mind getting a little cold. So I was out there. I was up on the roof in the pouring rain. And boy, Gabby did not like that. I was out there on the roof, pouring rain, bare feet. And she did not like that at all. But I noticed the gutters were a little bit clogged because of the amount of rain. Also, there was some stuff that I normally don't clean until I put up the Christmas lights. So I had to get out there a little bit early and clean it up. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting the stuff done. I also enjoyed, one of the things I really enjoyed is out in the bad weather, all the things I had to do, there was nobody else in my way. Nobody else was out braving the elements. Nobody else was shopping. No one else was going to the dump to drop stuff off. It was just me, and I liked it. I got through stuff a lot quicker. One of the things that did happen, though, was my daughter got a flat tire, so I had to go out there, and thankfully there was a break in the weather before, when I got there. So I wasn't really in too much mud. It was a little bit wet, but not that bad. But I was able to get out there and get the tire off, switch it out for the temporary transfer tire, as I say. By the way, just a word to my people. If you're ever in a situation where you have to put a transfer tire on your car, do it, but do it very temporarily. I've seen a lot of people that are just driving around town for weeks at a time with their transfer tire on. It's a transfer tire. It's designed to get you from where the incident happened to the tire store or the auto store or the mechanic or whatever. It's not meant to be a long-term solution. It's just meant to get you from A to B. That's it. When you're driving around, nothing says you've given up on life more than you driving around town with your transfer tire on. So don't do that. It looks horrible. It sends out a really, really awful message. And on that note, really quick, I don't want this to be about this. I had a different topic in mind today. On that note, learn to take care of yourself. I see this so often with regards to people who will give and give and give of themselves without taking care of themselves. They'll give and give and give till there's nothing left, and they don't have enough money for groceries or gas for the car, and they will just continue to give because they feel somehow that it's their obligation to give and not take care of themselves, or they don't buy a decent car for themselves, but they're lending money to their friends, or they're buying their kids pizzas on Friday nights. I see it all the time. learn to take care of yourself. Actually, that does tie into what I'm going to talk about today. So part of that is don't drive around with a transfer tire on. I mean, it just looks bad, and it tells the world that you don't care about yourself enough to get a new tire or your tire repaired. So what I wanted to talk about was there is something happened today at the office, and it made me think about how we all need to kind of re-look at the way we look at things with regards to how we treat ourselves and those people in our lives. We have this thing where we want to unload on our friends. We want to tell our friends how horrible our lives are or how sick we are or something. And a lot of people feel, well, that's just a way of connecting and being intimate and letting people know what's going on. I understand that part. But we've gotten to the point now in our society, in my world anyways, where that tends to be the norm, where people tend to just puke out their feelings and vomit all their concerns and stresses on anyone who will listen to them. And my problem with that is, if you are always in crisis and you're always going to other people saying, I'm in crisis, I'm in crisis, I'm in crisis, you are actually becoming a burden on that person. And I got to be careful what I'm saying here. It's important to be to have support. It really is. Let's straighten this out a bit here. It's important to have support, and I don't want to tell people that it's not okay to talk to other people. But today I saw someone who was mentally destroyed because everyone was dumping on her. Everyone was coming to her saying, help me, my life is so horrible, please help me. And I got to be witness to this carnage. This person, her phone rang. It was another person, one of her friends in crisis. Then someone emails her, a friend in crisis. And it's this whole thing where people seem to think that it's okay to continually be dumping on people when you take care of yourself. And I think this is what I'm trying to say. I don't mean don't dump on people, because I got to be careful, because it's important to be able to reach out to people. But I think a lot of what I've learned in my travels is taking care of myself. And when stuff happens, to not dump my emotional baggage on other people. It's called being stoic. I believe that it's not just about not telling people that you're in pain or you're in crisis or whatever the case may be, but it's also just being self-reliant. Because if you can take care of yourself, you are now a positive force in the world. You're a positive force with your children. You're a positive force with your parents. You're a positive force with the rest of your family. You're a positive force with your community. In my book, My Conversations with Keegan, I talk about how if you are not taking care of yourself, somebody else needs to take care of you. This is a law. This is not a rule. This is a law. And I see this so often where people will give and give and give of themselves. They won't get a new tire. They won't get their tire fixed. They'll drive a piece of crap car that's constantly breaking down. They won't take care of themselves. And yet they're so willing to volunteer their time for a good cause without realizing that they need to actually get a second job. They need to be out there working for money to pay for the car that'll work and run on its own. Because your car breaks down and you're in the middle of nowhere, you are going to pick up the phone and you're going to call one of your friends, one of your family, and say, come rescue me. And then you are going to be a burden on them. And love is going to be the weapon that's used in that case. I am not saying that you can't rely on other people. But the reality is if you are not taking care of yourself, someone else is. It's that simple. It's that simple. If you need food, someone else is going to get it for you unless you're going to get it for yourself. And I think that really needs to be made really clear to everyone, because I don't think people really understand it. I know people who will go out and spend $6,000 on a tattoo and then cry because they don't have money for rent. To me, that doesn't make sense. And I wish someone could actually educate me as to why that's an actual reality for some people. Why it's okay to spend $1,500 on a tattoo, then making sure you've got a proper food, healthy food in your pantry. I don't understand why you don't have a full tank of gas, but you'll go out and buy a tattoo. Like, I need someone, maybe someone in the comments can explain that to me. If you go and decide, you know what, I'm going to put this vacation on the credit card, I'm going to get the tattoo, what is it? What's it? Lomo? YOLO. You only have one life. And if the reality is that if this is, wow, ballsy. If this is how you're living, if this is how your life is, then you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to have a beautiful tattoo. A beautiful tattoo. A work of art that comes with you everywhere you go. But you won't have rent. Or you won't have that student loan payment. Or you won't have your credit card payment. Or you can't afford gas. Or you can't afford to take your car into the mechanic to figure out what that funny sound is, that clicking sound, or get rid of the check engine light on your car. This, please, I need someone to explain to me, because I really, really, truly don't understand what that's all about. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't be a burden on other people. It's very, very, very simple. If you are not taking care of yourself, somebody else is. That's it. That's it. Or you're suffering. And then, in suffering, what do you do when you're suffering? You complain. When you complain, what do? You burden other people with it. This is why it's so important to take care of yourself. Because if you sit there and, like what happened today, you're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking care of your health. You're not taking care of your relationships. You're not taking care of your finance. You're not taking care of your career. Whatever the case is. And then what you do, you pick up the phone and you burden somebody else with your issues. If you take care of yourself, if you get up early in the morning, you drink your water, you eat healthy, you get to the gym, you go see the doctor, and you know what? When you need when you need to get the car fixed, you get it fixed. You put the money away, you save your money, you live beneath your means. If you do these things, you don't become a burden on other people. And it just really is. And the more you can do that, the more you can take care of yourself, the bigger the gift is you can give other people. Here, and look, I'm not a fan of Dave Ramsey. I'm just not. I never have been. I tried to understand the way he thinks. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the sound of his voice. But there are some nuggets of gold with him. And as I've said before in the past, I think it's really important to listen to other people who have a different perspective, because it's good to get more than one perspective. So you're not just sitting in the echo chamber of listening to what you think is a good thing to listen to. So one of the things he said is save. You got to save your money. You got to pay off your debt, get out of debt, invest, buy real estate, get healthy, get wealthy, and then when it all comes down, you have this beautiful thing called philanthropy that you get to do. You get to be a philanthropist, and that means you are out there giving where you really can make some real differences. You're not just donating your time to the food bank. You're actually out there doing things, making a difference in the world. That's really great stuff. So that's what I mean. And the more I think about it, the more I honestly doing the math on the whole thing. What does it mean? It means simply, if you're out there and you're calling your parents for money all the time, you're saying, Mom, Dad, I need some, I need money, I need help. What you're doing is you're burdening your parents. And you know what, and this is just this very, very simple example of it. But what if you were to sit there and go, you know what, I'm going to get myself out of this problem. I'm no longer going to be a financial burden to my parents. I'm going to actually help my parents, and I'm gonna help them by being self-reliant. And when you become self-reliant, that's the biggest gift you can give anyone else around you. You are no longer part of the problem. You're not someone sitting in the RV of life with your foot on the emergency brake, or the brake, not the emergency brake. Your foot would be on the emergency brake, but you don't sit there with the foot on the brake. You're in the back pushing. You've gotten out and you said, you know what? I'm pushing. I'm helping. And by that, you are not part of the problem. You're part of the solution. That's really what it is. Take care of yourself. Take care of your problems. If you have some sadness in your life, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to tell people you're sad, but let them know that you're okay, that you're gonna even that sounds a little bit harsh, because sometimes you do need to reach out for people. It's a catch-22. I'm caught with my own words. Be self-reliant, for Pete's sakes. Like I say, I just saw someone really burdened by everyone else's issues, to the point where she gave up and she said, that's enough for today. I don't want to do today anymore, so I'm going home. And that makes me sad. And I thought, you know what? If all those people that were burdening her with her emotional stuff were taking care of themselves, she wouldn't be burdened. Take care of yourselves, people. Take care of yourselves, financially, physically, mentally, relationship-wise, with your career. Take care of that stuff. So when anything, and this is why it's always important to seek abundance and really, really strive for that happiness. Because once you get to that level and you're living a life of abundance, you can start really helping other people. And that's really what it's all about. That's what I'm about, and that's what I want. I hope everyone becomes that way, that they become wealthy and successful enough that they can turn around and give a helping hand instead of needing one. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you gently coax that like button. Just hover the mouse button over and click it just enough to make it go click. That's it. You don't have to smash it. You don't have to hit it, beat it up. Just a little click. That's it. And subscribe if you can. That's always good. And of course, check out financialfreeway23.ca. That's where all our archive stuff, that's where the really, really good stuff is. And as I always say, spread the word, spread the good news, because it's our mission here at Financial Freeway to make sure that everyone understands that they have an inalienable right to live a life, happiness, and abundance. Wherever you are on this beautiful Monday afternoon, God bless.